Hey everyone, it's Jason Burress. Thanks very much for joining us on the Burress Law, Life, and Friends podcast. Our first guest is Mayor George Fuller. First guest, George C. Fuller. What's up, George?
Junior. George C. Fuller, Jr.
Junior.
I am a junior.
And
I have to remember that because I, of course, love and respect my dad.
I've never met your dad, but
he was a good man.
I would have loved him too. Thought about who we wanted for our first guest, really thought about merits, kind of made a long list of what we were looking for. You did not make that list. So we threw merits out the window.
I understand that. My dad would have been much better.
You know what our one criteria was?
What was that?
Eye candy.
Well,
and you were
look at me, baby,
right at the top. You were right at the top. Handsome. I just thought you could move the
needle.
Or matriculate the ball forward across the 50. No doubt about it. Well, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Wanted to prepare. Wanted to spend a lot of time, make sure we were super organized. I spent 0 minutes getting ready.
Well, that means this will be real.
But I do want to be honest. You and I did meet because we met. We were going to spend some time, make sure we had everything coordinated. We did meet, correct?
Yes, we did.
The only thing I remember from meeting was pancakes.
Granola pancakes.
Not mine.
Not mine. Extra
crispy bacon.
Yes.
And scrambled eggs. I came away with nothing. We did not talk about anything.
Well, my granola pancakes, though, were healthy because of the granola topping.
That's your story.
That's my story. I just have to be careful because Maylee might, judge me.
Yeah. So in fairness, I've got a short list of things that I thought we could talk about, but I am happy for you to usurp me at any point in time. If you want to talk about anything else, you bring up whatever, we will talk about anything. The only thing I ask is that we just be honest, candid, because we have one subscriber right now.
Got it.
Nobody's going to hear it.
So might as well be real, baby.
Okay. Bookending on your handsomeness.
I'm stunning.
Okay. You're the mayor. You've done a lot of business, all that. I want to do something a little bit different. I wanted to talk about different topics that, some guy talk, some business talk, whatever. Yeah. I want to talk about aging.
I'm an expert on it. I'm an expert. I'm falling apart, man.
Yeah. So what age? I always used to tell people, I feel like I'm 18. I feel like I don't tell people that anymore. I mean, at what age were you when you stopped feeling like you were in your prime? 18, 21.
I'm just now hitting my prime.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, I mean, I vividly remember thinking I was literally bulletproof. I mean, I just thought, man, I'm going to live forever. I just don't understand people's bodies breaking down and getting older. Man, I feel fantastic. I'm just going to go every single day and not let any day be worse than the day before or feel worse than the day before. And then I woke up when I turned 50 and realized, when I got out of bed and I hurt myself, I thought, maybe I'm not bulletproof.
You hurt yourself getting out of bed?
Getting out of bed. I hurt myself, my back, and I've always struggled with little pain here and there, but I just power through it. And I remember, like it was yesterday when I turned 50, literally got out of bed, pulled my back, which I never understand that whole, someone say I pulled my back, and I'm like, well, stop pulling it. But yeah, then I realized, well, wait a minute, what's this little thing that kept me down for a day or two? And then other things, you start losing your hair, you start, joints start hurting. And yeah, I just realized, man, I get it. I see now I'm on this trajectory that's a little bit different than when I was younger.
I want to save the hair talk. I'll save that till last, but, mine was not 50. Mine was actually 40. So I always felt 18, 20, just felt great. And this was probably so we're 2020. This was probably 2000. She's pregnant with Chris is pregnant with Morgan. So I guess this is 2014, 2013. It's been a while.
Yep.
We're on Marco Island. Ever been to Marco Island?
I have not.
Okay, Florida.
Yeah.
We're taking a short jog on the beach, and she's slightly pregnant. I look slightly pregnant at that point. And all of a sudden, we're just a little jog, and my knee blows up. I mean, I've never had that happen. It just blows up, and I guess it's the gradation of the beach going into the water, and I don't even think I stepped wrong, but blew out my meniscus. I have not had surgery because I'm scared to death of dying on the table, anesthesia not working. But
I've had friends die on the table for little elective surgeries,
and I have too. I have too.
Yeah.
Multiple. So that's mine. And then had one where I'm coaching Luke's baseball, and kid throws a ball a little bit high. I'm at the mound. I jump, and I feel my whole calf just curling up on me, and it's that never used to happen.
Yeah, I remember it's right around 50. I'm driving down the road with Rain, my younger son, and we start talking, and we get on the subject. He's like, Dad, how does it feel to you now that I can beat you in a race, and I'm faster than you and stronger than you? I'm like, you're joking, right?
You would never joking that.
And I said, you seriously think you're faster than me? He goes, oh, yeah. I call Mei Lee. Mei Lee, can you believe Rain thinks that he's faster than me? She's like, well, yeah, I do too. And I'm like, my ego is just crushed. I called Jana, my office, and my son Austin and Toby, and I get everyone. I say, get to the office. I'm having a race with Rain Man as soon as we get there. It's lunchtime on a Friday. We get there, and I'm going to race my son. And
how old is he?
He's 14, and I'm like, there's going to be no grace. I'm squashing my son because, by God, Dad is still number one, still stronger, still faster, and so we decide we're going to race, and we lay out, how far we're going to run. Take off. Someone says go. We go literally 7 paces in. I thought someone shot me. Literally, I thought someone shot me. I had never pulled a hamstring, and when I would watch football games and somebody's out for 3 weeks with a pulled hamstring, my thought was, buck up. Yeah. You're making millions of dollars, man. It's a little pulled muscle. Stretch it out, get out. No, I get it. I was black and blue for literally probably 2-3 weeks. I went straight down the ground like I was shot and killed, and I realized that was right around that whole back incident. I thought, I'm getting older.
So are you 50 at the time?
Yeah, right around 50. And then I decided I'm going to race him again. And this time I start training slightly, very little. I call my doctor friend and I said, hey, what do I do to my son and load him up in carbs? How far before to where he crashes right before the race, not to, give him energy. And I did all those things because I'm just that vain that I have to beat him, my son. And I pulled the other hamstring in my other leg, literally. Went down. This time I did it though at our ranch. Nobody was around, just Mei Lee and he. And I even said, listen, we're going to start at a jog. When we get to this spot, then we take off, and we'll make sure we're even when we get there. I'm thinking stretch out. Pulled the other hamstring.
So you're 0 for 2.
0 for 2. I still say I can beat him, though he's 21 in the Army and has the excellent infantryman badge. But by God, I'm Dad.
Bill Parcells, I think, said you are what you are regarding your record.
I'm 0-2.
So in fairness, though, you look great. I mean, I remember we met in about 08, yep. And you were bigger. You had more body fat. You look great now.
I was 45 pounds heavier.
So what have you done, and what advice could you give other aging excellent athletes like us?
I literally, the whole back then, go back to the back, and I went to the doctor, and he said, you're carrying 40, 50 pounds, and that's literally would make a huge difference for you. And I had 5 herniated discs, so I had a medical reason to have back pain. But I just decided 2 things. I actually would love to say it was when I was 50, I immediately went to that. That's when I started planning to get in shape. And then I decided to run for mayor, so 3-4 years ago, and campaigning, walking houses, coupled with less eating, started to lose a little weight, felt better with my back. I thought, man, there's something to this plan I've had for 5 years. I should carry on with it, or 4 years. And I just ended up, staying on that path and exercising and eating better. For me, I stopped eating at night. My thing is I'd eat sweets, dessert, ice cream, and I do it at 7, 8, 9 at night. And I decided stop eating after 6:30, try to make better decisions, nothing too strict, nothing too harsh. Walk when I can, and started working out again. And man, I dropped 50 pounds.
Wow. Where do you work out?
Right now, the gym, of course, I was working out and it was closed. So I just go right across the street to the apartment complex, has a gym that I helped outfit. So I was
in
using
Adriatica.
that in Adriatica. Of course, there's that other gym, Blueprint, that I think I may go look at and potentially go there. But, for me, it's all about time and convenience. So it'll probably be still at an apartment complex gym. But, I've been working out my whole life on and off. So I can find I can find ways to work out basically with anything.
How do you feel about running?
Hate it.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about the health of it?
For me, with bad back, herniated discs, issues with knees, I couldn't run if I wanted to. But I'm sure that one of the things I definitely suffer with is that I don't do cardio at all. And that's certainly not a good thing. And I don't say that in a bragging sense. I say that in a kind of shame myself sense, and hopefully I'll change that. But, running and endurance cardio is necessary. And, but I guess, when you're back issues, you get to avoid some of those things.
Your back issues, is it from an acute event, like a car wreck, or something else?
Football.
Do we need to make a claim?
That's awesome. I started, that's fantastic. Playing football in high school and college, and played, Ironman football. So both sides, defensive tackle, offensive tackle. I got to believe that. Boxing, all, just severe trauma to the back over and over and over and over and over. Lifting. I used to lift very, not competitively in a professional sense, but competitively with myself and push, the group I was with. And I think I just herniated discs that way. And then I had a really, really bad motorcycle accident in 2001. So 60 miles an hour, car turned right in front of me and stopped and hit it just square. So,
I've seen you not wear a helmet, which bothers me. Did you have a helmet on?
I did not.
Wow.
I literally I'd won a builder, D Magazine builder thing, and they came and did a little video or not video, a photo kind of shoot interview. And it was a beautiful day, April 1st, 2001, I think. And I just thought, man, it's a beautiful day. I'm going to jump on my motorcycle. And I did. And that was a big mistake. So,
you were lucky.
Almost killed. Yeah, truly. I should have been killed. I don't know how I did not.
What year?
2001.
Wow. You had kids. You were married.
Kids. They were in the car. I remember Maylee pulling up as they were putting me in the ambulance, and I'll never forget, my vitals were crashing, and I remember the last thing I heard as they shut the door, and I'm looking out the little window, and I see my wife and her car and the kids all kind of trying to look into the thing, and the words, "We're losing them," and that's the last thing I remember until I woke up in the hospital.
Wow, I've never heard that story.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that literally 60 miles an hour. I may have slowed down to 55, and I just tried to jump over the car, at 55 miles an hour, though. That's a pretty crazy jump, and broke ribs, back, wrist, shattered my wrist, tucked and rolled 30 yards down the road, and there I somehow lived. It was quite amazing, actually.
My profession's probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because when I was a young kid, I was wild. I raced motorcycles, raced four-wheelers. Did everything that you could possibly do, sometimes with a helmet, sometimes not. But this business where you see, especially folks on motorcycles, folks on bicycles, when bad things happen, they don't fare well. You're not gonna win in a vehicle to motorcycle or vehicle to bicycle collision.
Yeah, no, and definitely I know, and Maylee gives me a hard time, and my thought was, it's time for me to sell the motorcycle,
You got one though, right?
I still have one.
What do you have, a Harley?
Harley, and I ride it, rarely, but I ride it in parades and stuff like that. But which also makes it more dangerous because I'm not on it day in and day out like I used to be. But yeah, for me, I just need to sell the motorcycle and stop doing a couple of things I'm doing.
Mm-hmm. So we won't get into full details, but you're fair to say you're backside of your 50s?
Yep.
Okay. How important is your health to you now, especially in relation to maybe in previous decades?
I'm getting to the point where I've decided, I've come to the realization that I am getting older. And, when you get my age, friends, you start losing friends. I mean, I've lost friends at my age, younger than me, slightly older than me, heart attacks, strokes. So I know it's a reality. And of course, what can I do? But get in better shape, eat better. And, I got things I want to do. I've got kids I love. I got a wife I love. And the thought of stroking out tomorrow is too depressing. So that's why I got back in shape 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm doing my best to eat better and sleeping. I'm working on that, but sleeping's not an easy thing for me. I suffer with sleeping. I can easily go a night and get 2 or 3 hours. So when I say easily, I don't mean easily like I benefit from it. It's all too common for me to have a night of sleep that's no more than 2 or 3 hours. So.
Well, we've never talked about this, but the funny thing is we've been 2 feet from each other for 7+ years. I mean, our buildings are 2 feet from each. So we see each other all the time, and maybe we don't talk, maybe we do, but I see you Saturdays, I see you Sundays, you see me Saturdays. I mean, if someone were to ask me who's the hardest working person I would have to say George is probably you're always
and vice versa. I'd say you.
What causes you to put health on the back burner?
Time, and I'm trying not to, right? I'm trying to put health more on the front burner, but I got a lot of irons in the fire, right? So I'm musician, guitar store owner, the builder, mayor, Love Life Foundation, family, wife, so a lot of hats, and I'm always trying to make sure I don't let anyone suffer. So I'm just driven to. I want to be engaged in all of those things. I don't want to be an absentee participant in any of them. But so what usually goes, or what I give first on, is health and/or sleep. So again, that's a cautionary tale that people should learn from my mistakes and not do it, and I need to learn and not do it. But I just, I'm like tonight. I mean, I'll leave here and I'll go to a sound check. I'll play this evening. I'll be up at 6 a.m. and back at work. But and sometime I'll spend between now and then, I'll hang with my kids, be with my wife, and maybe throw a fishing lure out in the lake for 20 minutes.
There's 50 ponds around. Which one do you go to?
One right behind our house, Stonebridge. I finally, thank God, caught a fish because we decided to get fishing poles after 3 years watching everyone fish in that lake. And Maylee said, let's go get fishing poles and start fishing.
You're talking about in Adriatic.
Okay. Right behind. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to teach my wife how to fish. So we went, got fishing poles, got myself a slightly better one than hers, right? Got a better lure for myself because I got to catch the first fish. We get out there. Second time she catches a fish. We go 3 days. She catches 3 fish. Me, nothing. So finally, thankfully, I caught a little sunfish. It was slightly larger than the lure that we were using. But now, thankfully, I can say I caught a fish.
I've got a honey hole.
Really?
Yeah. Just south of the Home Depot, Custer in Virginia.
Custer in Virginia. Okay.
Excuse me, north of Virginia.
Okay.
East of Custer. There's a little pond there.
I got to go there.
I took the kids fishing a little while ago. 12 fish, 30 minutes.
What do you use?
Slim Jim.
Slim Jim, as in the little Slim Jim?
Little Slim
with
Jim.
A bobber?
And take cut it up into little bitty pieces.
What kind of fish?
Oh, perch, bass.
Really?
Yeah. There's all kinds of. It's a great. I'll tell you offline, but
Well, Slim Jim is better than, because I cast 5 times. I'm like, well, I obviously don't have a good lure, so got to go back to Cabela's, and
Like a cooked hot dog works too, but it doesn't work as well because, I mean, the Slim Jim will stay on because it's so thick. It'll stay on. And we go fishing a lot.
I got to go. I got to go.
Last health topic.
Yep.
Hair.
Yeah.
Allegedly, reportedly, rumor has it, I'm losing some hair.
Yeah.
I've
led you on that one. I've done it.
There are certain times where I look in the mirror and go, it's all there. Looks great. It really looks great. And then I see a picture. I'm like, it's not there.
Don't I know those pictures? I have them.
George, it bothers me.
I know. Me too.
Hey, real talk here. I mean,
So you know what? Listen, I absolutely, I woke up one day I have a great, full head of hair. And the next day I'm like, oh my God, I'm losing my hair. And I expected Maylee to say, no, you're not. And she goes, oh, I know. I was like, really? You see it? She's like, yeah. And then she realized I was wanting her to tell me, no, I don't see it at all. But, and then I started agonizing over it. And of course, once I really came to grips with it, of course, it was every day was a compounded issue. And I'll tell you, I struggled with the decision, but I literally went and did a hair replacement thing. And I'll just be real and tell you. But
did they take it from the back?
Take it from the back, and it's your own hair. And I thought, I'd love to say that kind of thing I could just brush off, and we can all say anecdotally or that, hey, what's it matter? Looks don't matter. Well, you know what? It matters to all of us. That's why we have mirrors and we look at ourselves before we go out, and we try to make sure we're presentable and all that. And I thought Maylee was a big advocate. She said, listen, it bothers you, do something about it. We have the ability. We're fortunate. You've worked hard. Do something. And at first, I even the thought of spending money on something like that, I said, it's a waste. I can't do that. It's a waste. And she said, no, it's not a waste. It'll make you feel better. And she was right.
Sounds like your wife soft sold it. My wife, on the other hand, said, honey, you're really losing it. I mean, I don't know if you know it, but you're really losing it. And I was like, I don't feel like I'm really losing. I mean, I still have days where, if I use the right shampoo and a little thickening shampoo. Yep. And she said, now you're losing it. And she said, there are some guys who I think look really good bald. Like they, shave it off, look really good bald. I don't think you're going to be that guy.
Maylee told me that too. She said, now I do like look at The Rock. The Rock shaved his head and he looks good. And I said, you think I should shave my head? No, not you. I said The Rock. The Rock looks good. Yeah, you should go do something.
So I actually have a place. It's on my internet on my phone. I haven't called yet, but you would recommend me.
I would. You know what? Listen, I can pretend that it didn't bother me, and I could deny that I did it, and who would know the difference? But other than me, but the fact is, listen, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna own it. So I own it.
And getting past the joking, that's exactly why I wanted you on, because you're always a real guy. You've always been real to me, and I knew you would talk about anything. So thank you for volunteering that.
It's one of the I was about to say it was one of the best decisions. Of course, best decisions are family, wife, all that, but definitely a decision, a purchase, the best purchase I've made because I feel better about it. And anyone that wants to give me a hard time about it is either number one, not losing their hair, or just afraid to admit that they would do it.
For the record, it looks great. I had no clue.
Yeah. It worked.
Let's talk about another topic.
Yep.
How about music? You love music.
Love music.
I love music.
Yep. My marriage is wrapped up in music. That's how I met my wife. It's my absolute go-to stress reliever and just clear the soul. It's great.
You grew up in the 70s.
Yep. Born in 62, grew up impacted by music 70s.
Who was your biggest influence growing up? And who turned you on first?
I was, as a little kid, I was watching things like, Partridge Family and I Think I Love You and all that kind of stuff. But as I got turned onto rock and roll, for me, it was Springsteen in the mid 70s. I was a big Springsteen fan because talking about real and listen to, I'm a lyric guy. I like stories. I like storytelling and music. Always been a huge guitar fan. And my father, who I talked about in the beginning, my father really was a fantastic man. And I know that not all are, not all fathers are, but I was lucky. But the one thing my father did, one little quirk, my father associated rock and roll equals drugs equals overdose and death. So the thought of me playing guitar, because I like rock and roll, my dad said, no, you're not playing guitar. So I had this yearning to play guitar my whole life. I had to do it once I was away from home at college. But so I was attracted to guitar players, and from Hendrix, of course, to Clapton, and then later on Stevie Ray Vaughan, but Freddie King, Albert King, and then songwriters. I'm a huge songwriting fan. So Springsteen, Billy Falcon, people like that. Nelson, Willie Nelson, Lucas Nelson. Now I love Lucas as well. Love when I see Lucas and Willie together. Great stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Music is, it's everyone says it transcends everything, but the truth is it does.
It really does. Mine, I remember 5th grade, Van Halen.
Ah, love Van Halen.
And you got the jam box, and
Please,
then
please.
Yeah, I remember Quiet Riot. I remember Guns N' Roses. But about 9th grade, I found Willie, and I thought, I don't know. I'm a 9th grade kid. Everybody's, it's Metallica this, and I found Willie.
Yeah, that's unusual. That's unusual, but I get it because
my friends were the same.
But because music has to speak to you, and Willie, and I liked all the bands you just said, Quiet Riot, Van Halen. I was into all that stuff, but Willie, Bruce, people like that. That's storytelling, and there's so much to connect to. The other is great; it's energy and it moves you, but the storytelling of people like that, it's. You identify with it. At least I did, and I know you did. So,
did you have any clue that I played in college?
I did not.
Okay.
No, tell me.
So I played.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I actually played to more empty beer bottles than people.
I had no idea.
Yeah. So a couple people that I think you'd be interested in knowing. I've played with Willie. I actually have the tape of it.
Why aren't we jamming at some point?
One, I'm worse than I was then, and I was bad then.
But that's a song, by the way.
Yeah,
we got to write that song.
But my favorite,
we literally have to write that song.
Yeah.
I'm worse now, and I was bad then. That is a song. You just write now. That's a hook.
Exactly.
Got to write that down.
The funniest thing, Devil's Backbone. Ever heard of it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I got to play with some of the Texas Playboys.
Oh man.
I'm going to say 3 or 4. It's a long time ago, maybe 94 or so. And Texas Playboys, there was a girl that I had a crush on for literally 20 years. She was there. My all-time best friend was there. My other best friend was singing with me, and we were both playing guitar, and we had pickups and all. And the Playboy, we're playing Reasons to Quit, which is an old Willie and Merle song. Yep. And we got to the chorus, and, we went left and the Playboys went right. They were right, we were wrong. And, and so it was failed smile in front of the girl that I never could get. But yeah, the Playboys.
I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In fact, I would love, one of the things I would love to do, bucket list, is take lessons from whoever is the best guitar teacher at your shop. And I know you got great ones.
Yeah, we do have some great ones.
Whoever's, would be really good for me. I would love to get back into it.
I would love you to get back into it.
Yeah, it would
and then
be
get
fun.
up on stage, brother.
Yeah, but enough about me. Let's talk
that's
about
fantastic. I did not know that.
Yeah, we've
that's a whole new thing.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay.
Let's talk about you. I've got Willie, I've got the Playboys. Who have you played with that nobody knows about, that would just, rock their world?
So again, for every Springsteen fan, they'll know the big man, Clarence Clemens. And Clarence and I, we struck up a heck of a friendship and relationship, and we recorded records together and
this
played
is a saxophone player.
Sax player for Bruce Springsteen. And we played together for 20 years, recorded together for 20 years. And but I've been on stage with everyone from, Keith Richards and Ron Woods. I've been on stage with John Butcher, Axis. I have opened for 38 Special, Peter Frampton, Bonnie Raitt, Hank Williams Jr., Ted Nugent. I've been on stage with people like Paul Reed Smith and David Grissom, and so I've had a truly blessed life musically, better than I deserve. And quite frankly, I'm to your our new, we're going to write it together, our new hit song. I'm worse now and I was bad then. I've probably never really been good enough to be on all the stages I've been on because I've just never had the time to devote and dedicate to it. So whatever talent I have, it's just been whatever natural talent I've had, and I've exploited it to its absolute fullest. But I just don't. I wish I had the time to put into it. I don't, or I choose not to, I guess. But yeah, I've been on some really cool stages with some really cool people.
That's really
cool. Faking it a lot of the time.
You're faking it, yeah.
Faking it.
So I used to write a lot, and this is in the 90s. This is early 90s. This is before, popular internet. And I would file them with the Library of Congress. Yeah. And I for sure have 20 songs.
What have we not?
Yeah,
why have we
crazy?
Not been? Yeah.
Do you write a lot?
Oh yeah, yeah. We've got 7 records and written. Maylee and I write 90% of the stuff together.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Somebody told me that if you didn't have enough, because we didn't have a lot of money then, it's like if you don't have enough money, you can't send it to the Library of Congress and then mail it. Like put your words, and then mail it to yourself. Don't open it. And I've done that too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Gosh, we got to write some songs. But again, I'm worse now than I was bad. I was bad then. That's such a great song.
All right. So for our viewers, let's talk about recommendations. Somebody that's popular or was popular that I should either listen to for the first time or take a deeper dive. Let's start there first.
Well, for me, I'm wondering how popular they are because I know them well, of course, Lucas Nelson. I'm just such a huge Lucas Nelson fan. Of course,
he came to McKinney.
He did.
Did you not know that?
No, I didn't.
So you and I tried to bring him in last year.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how close we got. I was ready
got close.
Okay. I hate failing, by the way. We brought in Kevin Fowler, but I would love to bring Lucas came to the Impact downtown McKinney 2000. I'm going to miss it, but I'm going to say 2012.
See, that was before I discovered him.
So he played to, I'll bet he played to 200 people. I think it holds about 330. Yeah. He played to probably 200. Wow. It was incredible. I have video of it.
Wow. I got to see that.
He's playing guitar with his teeth. I never did that.
Yeah. Lucas Nelson's fantastic.
Okay.
JJ Gray and Mofro. If people haven't heard JJ Gray, he has been around for a long, long time. Soulful guy. He's out of Florida. He Lochloosa, actually, Florida. That guy is just unbelievably great. Songs, lyric, soul, guitar, all of it great. Love that. Brother Hawk is a band that probably nobody knows, but fantastic singers, songwriters, guitar players. Of course, I'm always going to lean towards guitar players. So if you don't like guitar players, don't take any of my suggestions on music. But and then of course from the old one of the older guys, Bruce Springsteen, and Maylee. When I first got together with Maylee, I told her I'm a huge Springsteen fan. She's like, I don't get it. So that's because you haven't seen him live. Well, I can understand what he might be like live, but I don't get it. I took her to a concert, and that girl now is crazed over Bruce Springsteen. So if you've never seen Springsteen in concert, even to this day, you've got to see him because it truly, when people talk about the greatest live rock and roll performance, it really is.
And I've never seen him.
It is. You go see him, you will leave there thinking, now I get it. I get it. It's, 3 hours and 20 minutes of pure passion, energy, soul. It's really, really, really over the top.
What's the song? One Step Forward, Two Steps Back.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That's my favorite Springsteen song.
He really is. He's a storyteller for sure. And that's why people relate to him. And just, he gives every ounce of energy within his whole body at every
You've met him.
Oh yeah. I've met him quite a bit. Spent quite a bit of time with him. When they were touring with, we'd go with Clarence and be backstage, and I've actually been on stage with him, and I left that out. I was on stage with him at Clarence's 50th birthday in California, which that was a huge treat for me. Huge treat.
So again, you've played with Springsteen. Who else?
Keith Richards, Ronnie Wood. I know I'm missing a whole bunch, but
did you outduel Keith Richards?
No, we did go back and forth though. Me, Jimmy Wallace, and Keith Richards went back and forth trading guitar solos.
It was not one-way traffic.
No, when you're on stage with someone like Keith Richards, you're just trying not to, you're trying to pick your jaw up off the floor when you're a guitar player, because he's an icon and a
phenom.
Yes, he's and I'll tell you, he's an underrated guitar player by some people. Is
he underrated?
Well, he's underrated because people think guitar player Stevie Ray, Clapton, whatever.
Willie.
Well, and Willie's underrated, right? Because no one, if you say give me the best guitar players, you and I might appreciate him, but
he's top 100. Rolling Stone.
But people that don't know that or follow that would not name Willie or Keith as a guitar guy. I
don't think so. I disagree. I mean, I've seen. Of course, I've seen the great Chet Atkins.
Oh yeah.
Bow down to Willie and say, you take the solo.
I agree with you. But I'm saying I think we're a minority that understand and appreciate and realize that he is.
Okay.
I'm just saying that to the average person, you think Willie, you think songs, but Willie is a fantastic guitar player. Keith Richards is a fantastic guitar player, but a lot of people think more in terms of Stones, not as a guitar-oriented thing, but he's a brilliant rhythm guitar player and just melodic lick kind of player. Mm-hmm. And Willie too. Willie's a great player, but people just don't, you don't think of him that way if you don't know.
Do you see a working advantage of Willie over Lucas in terms of guitar?
I
certainly do.
Well, I think that, of course, I saw Willie and Lucas together on New Year's Eve, I guess a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. Yeah, a year and a half ago. And Willie, of course, has lost some of his dexterity and whatnot. But, Willie comes from a real pure blues kind of, blues rock.
Well, I mean, Django Reinhardt was his inspiration. That's where he learned.
And so he's got this real pure thing.
Classical simplicity.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And whereas Lucas is more of a rock, progressive kind of guitar player. But I love when to see them together and to see, for example, when Lucas has his dad play on Georgia. I forget Willie's song, or Willie, of course, made famous Georgia on My Mind,
Ray Charles.
But Lucas does the other song about the girl Georgia. And his dad plays on that, and it's just great.
So basically, it sounds like Willie still kicks his ass.
I think, like I did with Rain in the Race, yes, he kicks his ass.
So mine is, and I think we kind of addressed this backwards, but not that well-known guys that, Jimmy LaFave, ever heard the name?
I have heard the name, but
oh my gosh, Jimmy LaFave. When we were getting ready to bring in Fowler, which we talked about Lucas too for our Christmas party last year, I also said let Jimmy LaFave, and Christina loves Jimmy LaFave. I said let's bring in Jimmy LaFave. We looked him up. We're trying to find him. He passed away in 2017. He had a rare form of cancer. Jimmy LaFave. That's mine. If you go look up Jimmy LaFave,
I'm going to look him up on the way home.
Phenomenal. I mean, just phenomenal. Song called St. Paul.
All right, I'll check it out.
What
about Chris Rea? You know Chris Rea?
Nope.
Chris Rea, guy from England, phenomenal guitar player, great singer, this real grovelly, raspy voice. But Chris Rea, not a lot of people know him, but man, is he a fantastic player. Older now, but still, what a player.
We'll check him out. LaFave was I know he was back-to-back Songwriter of the Year from an Austin Statesman or whatever it was, and he was, but a great songwriter, great singer. The question though was a popular artist. So a popular artist that maybe your daughter, maybe somebody hasn't, that's been around. Who should you look at? Take a deeper dive on. I've got one in mind.
Tell me yours first.
Van Morrison.
Oh yeah,
because people know Brown Eyed Girl, but I'm talking about Celtic New Year. I think is the greatest song I've ever heard.
Yeah,
and with all apologies to Willie.
Yeah, Van Morrison, no doubt.
The collection is just phenomenal.
You know, but I go back to Springsteen. You know, because people hear Springsteen, they think, oh, Born in the USA, Born to Run, but man, there's just a God, I don't know, 5,718 albums or something. But he's his stuff is, if you go deep on him, it's just great. It's great.
Yeah, perfect. I'm gonna jump on all the folks that you talked about, and I hope our viewers
Gray
do. JJ Gray.
I'm gonna jump on.